In this week's video, we sample more of Scotland's delightful countryside as we find another exceptional park up at Lock Drunkie. Our first night is just outside the locked gates, but we move further down the Three Lochs Drive for our next few nights. Autumn makes itself known as we meander through the woodland, setting us up for a great sleep. But first, welcome to our channel. I'm Kath, this is Sue. We're enjoying our retirement, travelling with our two dogs Archie and Fudge, whilst living full-time in our motorhome. Recently, Sue competed in the Great North Run, whilst I've been making the most of rivers for swims and hills for walks. So why not come and join us? Good morning, folks. So we're moving on again today. Not quite sure where to. We have identified an area north of where we are currently, and we think it looks like there's a really good park up. So come with us and see if we find somewhere as nice as that one we found when we were at Loch Doon. See you shortly. Well, good afternoon. We made it to our next location and we're not far from Aberfoyle. We're on the Three Lochs Forest Drive, and although the gate's closed, we've managed to park just outside the gate. There's nobody here. It's very peaceful, and it does look like you can stay here. But it makes a point of saying the gate closes at 4. Now, we got here about 10 to 4 and the gate was already closed. So I'm hoping nobody minds that we're parked up outside overnight, and I'm sure we're going to have a peaceful night. We may even stay a second night and probably have to move further down. We'll see. But look at this. Apart from the drizzly cold rain, it's another beautiful part of Scotland. Good morning. Well, we both had the most fabulous night's sleep last night because we're in the most peaceful of locations. We're on the I think I told you last night, Three Loch Trail, which gets you to the final, I guess the third loch, I've not found that yet, called Lock Drunkie. And there's a couple of little lochans en route, one of which I saw last night. Nobody else here. There's a car parked opposite us, and a couple of people got out of that last night, got their big rucksacks on, and looked like they were off for a bit of wild camping. Apart from that, not a soul. Total peace. And look at this, like a few steps from where we're parked up at the moment is this viewing point. This is another place I'm pretty sure will be mobbed in the summer. There's actually some picnic benches around here. It's part of one of the Forestry Commission kind of managed areas. It's Forestry Scotland. But this time of year, fantastic views. This is the gate that last night was closed when we got here, just before 4 o'clock. It does say it closes at 4, so obviously if you go and park down there, and you are allowed to park down there, you obviously get locked in. Well, you can walk out, I suppose, but it's open. So they've obviously opened it this morning. I have no idea when, I've not heard any kind of vehicle, but it's open. Now I can't help look at this water and think about swimming. But when I look at it, it's really black. Now I think that's because it's probably because of the peat, and you get the particles of peat in the water, and therefore it makes it very dark and black. With the gate now open, we headed off down the Three Lochs Drive to find a new spot for the next night. Well, we're still in the same area, but we've now moved around a bit further down the drive, closer to the lock. And over here behind me somewhere, there's a toilet block. So this is the main car park. We've passed a few cars and vans that are parked up down the drive, and you're allowed to do that. It costs £3. So, and that takes you through to midnight. The park does get closed, so the gate will be across again at 4 o'clock, so you don't want to get locked in here. But we don't mind. We're happy to get locked in here, and having the toilets here, I don't know whether they come and close them later, but having the toilets over here is definitely a bonus for us, because there's no chemical waste facilities down here. But for now, we're just going to do a little loop through the woods, see how far we get. Now, as a woman of a certain age, it's important to check out the toilets before we set off on our little stroll. And for information, these toilets did stay open overnight. So you see the toilets disappeared into darkness and there are no lights in there, which is fair enough. And when you look in the toilet, it looks a bit dirty, but it's because of the peaty water and they're stream fed. But there's a couple of toilets in there for ladies. I'm guessing the men's is the same. It's pretty good, isn't it? I'll bet you your bottom dollar that this place is very busy in the summer. I mean, why wouldn't it be? I mean, it's bound to be, isn't it? But this time of year, it's absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, spectacular. You know, the magnificence of all these pine trees, the tranquility of the loch. It's gorgeous. Well, Fudge and I are on if you looked at the sign, there's just a little green loop. So we're not going to it's not a long walk for us today, but it comes up through the trees and then it looks like it emerges and takes us back right along the edge of the loch. If you go down in the woods today, you better not go alone, because they're tired little teddy bears. Look at that luscious green. All there. So you're here in these dark woods. The leaves are all coming. It's kind of full on autumn. You've got all the autumn colours all around. And these little areas where the trees are not quite as dense, you get that beautiful, luscious green. We really do live in a beautiful country. So this loch is bigger than the one I showed you earlier. This is called Lock Drunkie. Fancy a donkey and drunkie? Why do I amuse myself with such silliness? I don't know. Being this close to nature, and nature that is just all around me on all sides, with very little signs of human noise actually. There's no human noise. I love it. We have recently invested in a second toilet cassette for exactly these reasons. We've tried things like bog in a bag and it's okay, but it's not quite as nice as your own toilet cassette. So we have invested in a second toilet cassette, really so we can make the most of these kinds of park ups, and then we can carry, once both of them are full, then we'll be able to find a service point somewhere or a chemical disposal area where we can get rid of it. The other thing I should mention is there are no bins here, so you have to be prepared to bring plenty bags and take your waste away with you, which, you know, is absolutely acceptable. It's always nice when there is a bin because it's nice and convenient, but if there isn't, then, you know, just make sure you're prepared to take it away with you. I don't think I'm a spoilsport. I mean, I would absolutely love to come down here and have a campfire and cook on a campfire. and at least they've been responsible because they've got it surrounded by stone, so hopefully there's no fire risk. But whoever's done that, they've left the disposable barbecue right in the middle. I mean, I just don't get it. I just do not get why you would come out and enjoy this absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, spectacular, stupendous, magnificent countryside and then spoil it with some litter. And you've carried it here, so you know, I'm sure you can carry it back, and look, you could get some water from the lock to pour over it and cool it down if that's the issue. Just don't get it. Well, this is Fudge and I coming back to where we started. So we're going to pass the toilet block and then head back to the van. Now this has been a really easy walk. In fact, we could probably even get Archie round in his buggy. So it's not too long at all. Just right for a bit of a drizzly afternoon. And I think we might hunker down for a film now. Well, I did get back to the van, but I was sent off again. Well, not really sent, I did volunteer to go off again. My first question, so how are you getting on with the cleaning, Sue? And she went, I've completely forgotten. I've been sorting out forfeits. So we're meeting up with her family again in a week's or so's time, and we'll be playing silly games. I know we will. And she's sorting out forfeits. I mean, come on, priorities. Well, Fudge and I are off again on one of our solo walks. Sue's plotted us a route on OS Maps. It should be about 6 miles, and Fudge has already run this route this morning, but she's walking again with me now. Weather's brightened up a bit, so I think it's going to be quite easy walking, but from all accounts also quite pretty as well. So of course you can come along with us and hopefully enjoy some of the scenery that we're going to enjoy. Actually filmed very much on this walk, but it has been extraordinarily pretty, and this loch behind me is called Loch Veneker, and I think it's actually slightly bigger than Lock Drunkie, and I think somewhere along here there's going to be a dam. We'll have to find out now. Sue got some fantastic footage this morning, so if I get a chance I'll show you that. I think it's a bit too windy, and you may not even get this. Well, I'm on the homeward stretch, but there's still a way to go, and I've come off the really well marked trails, and I'm on a bit of a grassy path by a little river, or burn as they would say in Scotland. Well, we've come off the track. I'm not quite sure how, because there is a track here, and the track I'm supposed to be on is kind of just the other side of the trees, so I'm hoping that it's just because the trees are down that the path's been slightly diverted. We're going to keep going and see if we can make our way that way and get back onto the track that we're supposed to be on. Trusty OS Maps. I know I talk about it a lot, but oh my goodness, it's got me out of some sticky spots. We've made it to the dam, so we really are on the final stretch home, and the sun's come out just to bless us for the final part of the journey. Well, morning folks, we've had another very peaceful night at the car park in the Three Lochs Drive. It's a very drizzly morning. Sue's out running, but this is it. We are leaving today and heading on to our next location. But you're just going to have to wait until next week for that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and we will see you next time. Bye.